Boom. Yes, that is.
You said boom.
I always say boom. It's a good transition into a boom. You know, like
Is that considered an onomatopoeia?
I don't even know I don't know what an onomatopoeia is.
It's a word that's a sound like slam or cram, something like
Cram.
Cram.
I have a hard time believing that that's real.
It's real, dude. Try and spell it. I dare you.
ONOMONOPEIA.
Oh wow,
That's it, right?
you've been practicing.
Onomatopoeia.
I don't know how to spell it. I was just seeing if you could do it.
I'm pretty sure that's the spelling. Should we look this up?
Onomatopoeia.
Should we look this? Mono. That's not gonna work. That's just. I pulled up my computer and it doesn't have any monopia. Nope, I spelled it wrong. T. It's onomato, and then there's a O before the PEIA.
Huh.
So it's onomatopoeia.
Poeia.
Okay. I mean, yeah, I'll take that.
We'll take it.
Yeah, welcome to True Crime Thursdays.
Welcome.
This is an episode of Stuff where we talk about things. And what are you waving your hand about?
Again.
Dude, Bree all right, so there's this thing that Bree does where she burps, and it smells fucking terrible. Like it smells god awful.
It's only when I'm drinking these, like specifically these micheladas, like they make my burps smell so bad. It's awful.
That is a
bad
mango
time.
michelada for the audio listeners.
It's delicious, yeah.
So anyway, this is my case today, and I already told you what we're going to be covering.
Yes.
Yeah, I already told you. So what we're covering today is the Texarkana Moonlight murders. The killer is known as the Phantom Killer. He is known to have killed 5 people, injured 3, all in 1946. And this was a matter of like a couple months, like not that big of a timeline.
Oh wow, he was on one.
Killed a lot of people in a very short amount of time. And in 2 days, it actually will have been 74 years since his brutal attacks took place in the town of Texarkana, Texas.
Holy shit, that's crazy.
And also, that's kind of up for debate because there's also... I got lost in a little bit of I think some of the murders might have happened in Arkansas, Texarkana, and some happened in Texas, Texarkana, because it's the same city, and they're like... Well, not the same city, but there's 2 towns with the same name, and they're right next to each other, and then sometimes they get together for a little ramboozle.
That is stressful.
Yeah, but that's what they do. Yeah, thanks, Texas.
They have a little rassle-tassel.
A little wrestle. Yeah, that's a word for it. I'll give you that.
Wrestle.
So, this man, the Phantom Killer, he acquired his nickname after a string of killings to which he was never caught for. Headlines started popping up in the Texarkana Daily News. Phantom Killer eludes officers as investigation of slayings pressed. Phantom Slayer eludes police. Phantom Slayer still at large as probe continues.
Probe.
Yeah,
that word's funny.
That's not an alien anal probe. I can't guarantee it, but I'm going to say it's not.
I'm going to say it is.
Yeah, so maybe it is. So the manager of the Gazette asked if they could not refer to him as the Phantom because they were like, hey, maybe we shouldn't give this guy a cool name.
Yeah.
And he
Phantom.
received...
That is a cool name.
It is a cool name, but he shouldn't get a cool name.
No, he shouldn't.
And then this manager received the answer, why not? If the son of a bitch continues to elude capture, he certainly can be called a Phantom. So yeah, you're speaking really matter-of-factly there. Like, all right, asshole. So today, like I said, the Texarkana Moonlight murders. And
I'm excited.
The perpetrator, to this day, still has never been captured, or at least the case has not been closed. We're kind of going to get into some of that stuff.
Okay, I'm excited for that because I've never looked into this case. I've only seen both of the movies, so...
Yes, and as Brie mentioned, there are 2 movies.
Yes.
Which is really cool. There's one from 1976, which, fun fact, since 2003, every single October in Texarkana, they play this movie at like a movies at night event kind of thing.
That's fucking dope.
They've been doing it every year since 2003. It's like a new tradition.
That's really cool.
And there was another movie that came out in 2014, which is actually, it's one of the most interesting remakes I think I've ever seen.
Yeah, I remember I watched the remake first, and I was like, why? What? I've never like even heard of this movie. And then like a few years later, I watched like the original. It's weird how they do it in the remake, but I like it. It's really good.
I like them both, but the remake is this really meta thing.
Yeah.
Where like they're watching the movie and they're kind of doing that. They're doing that thing where like the tradition of watching the movie every year, and then the murders start happening again with like a copycat killer of the same kill. It's fucking crazy. Like that movie blows my mind.
It makes you like. I don't want to say it makes you think because it's not like that, but it makes you have to use your brain instead of just relaxing and watching a movie, like, which is a good time. Though.
A little bit. It's not too much. Like, it's not like one of those movies where like you got to pay attention or you're not going to follow what's going on.
No, I'm just saying it's just kind of like oh,
you think about it for a second. You're like,
you
oh
have to
wait,
think about it. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
It's fucking cool. There's a lot of sex in it. I didn't remember how much sex there was. I remembered sex, but I was like, oh, there's a lot of sex in here.
A lot of sex in.
There's at least 3. I don't know, man.
At least 3.
It was a lot
of
that
shit. At least 3
shit.
sex.
So he's never been captured to this day, like quote unquote. We'll talk about that. But some believe that they know who he is, and others have conspiracies. Some people even think that the Phantom Killer and the Zodiac Killer are the same person.
I've heard that.
I think that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, I was gonna say like
if you look into the timeline, like it just does not make sense. Like I get like some of it. I think like maybe Zodiac was like inspired by him, and maybe he was alive around this. I think that whole conspiracy is fucking dumb. But you know, that's fine.
Is it? I wonder if it's because of the mask, and people were like, oh, because the Zodiac's mask was like similar. No,
I don't know.
He just wore like a big black like bag type of thing, I think.
Was that real?
I think so. Was it not? Was that only in the movie?
Yeah, I don't think that's real.
Are you sure?
As far as I know, I don't think that's real. Maybe we'll get berated for this, and but I don't think that was real.
Oh, my bad.
So these murders have since made Texarkana famous, and they are thought to be responsible for tales such as the Hookman. You ever heard of the Hookman tale?
Is that the one from like I Know What You Did Last Summer?
No, that's a different Hookman.
I've never heard of it then.
Okay, so the basic premise involves a young couple cuddling with the radio playing. Suddenly, a news bulletin reports that a serial killer has just escaped from a nearby institution. The killer has a hook for one of his hands, and that is really the only way that anyone can identify him. For varying reasons, they decide to leave quickly. In the end, the killer's hook is either found hanging from the door handle or it's embedded into the door itself. Every time I've heard that story, it's always hanging from the door handle. You ever heard that one?
I've never heard that story.
I've heard that story a lot, actually. It's like an old like couple tale, like pretty much don't go into a car and like, you know, do naughty shit.
Do stuff, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It's just an old tale, and this is pretty much where that tale originates from.
Oh, that's really cool.
So the murders are also fairly widely known throughout the horror community because, like we said, in the 1976 movie and the 2014 movie, this is portrayed and it's played all the fucking time. So I think that's really cool too because the true crime genre kind of melded over into the horror movie genre in this one. Like you have some cases of that, like a pretty decent amount of cases of that, but this one was one of the first. The first Town That Dreaded Sundown came out 2 years after Texas Chainsaw and Black Christmas.
Huh.
Because they were in 1974. It came out in 1976. And that's a really crazy thing about, like, a true crime horror movie came out that fucking early.
When you say 1976, it doesn't really sound like that long ago.
And you think about it.
But it was a cool minute ago.
It was a long time ago. So the killer caused absolute hysteria during his reign of terror. At first, parents warned their children about being out late, and when the murders continued, curfews were set for businesses.
Oh, shit.
Residents started locking doors, pulling down shades, blocking windows, and arming themselves with guns. On February 22nd of 1946, Jimmy Hollis, who was 25 at the time, and Mary Jean Larry, who was 19 at the time, went on a movie date. And they headed over to a lover's lane after their movie to do some good old-fashioned snuggling.
Snuggling. That's what they're calling it.
That's what they're doing it. But unfortunately, the snuggling did not last for long.
Yikes.
As it usually does not. For other reasons, usually. It's because I want to leave.
I want to go home.
So, around 10 minutes later, a man wearing a white cloth mask, who literally seems like he looked like Jason Voorhees in Part 2, Friday the 13th.
Yeah.
Even in the portrayal, like, that's what Jason was originally based off of. At least that's my theory, because he looks exactly like the fucking Town That Dreaded Sundown.
Dude, I would say so, definitely.
He looks exactly like him, down to the mask and everything. Especially if you play the Friday the 13th video game.
Yeah.
It looks just fucking like it.
I suck so hard at that video game,
Yeah,
but I
you do.
still love playing it.
So anyway, this guy arrives at Jimmy's driver's side door, and he shined a flashlight in the window, like, yeah, what you doing, bud?
Like a cop.
And Jimmy at first thought that it was just some dude pranking them, because, like, not really much happened around this town, so they were kind of just like, oh, well, it's just some... That's probably what you think, like someone's just shining a flashlight on you when you're making out with your girlfriend, like, get out of here, high school dick. That's not what happened. He told him that he had the wrong person. The man responded, I don't want to kill you, fellow, so do what I say.
That's fucking scary.
So the masked man ordered Jimmy and Mary to exit the vehicle, and he focused on Jimmy, and he said, take off your goddamn britches. And
that gives away the era that this happened right there. Britches.
Britches. Yes. It totally puts you in that. A lot of things in this are going to put you in that time and place.
Yeah, I can imagine.
So Jimmy, confused, was like, what the hell you talking about, partner? But the man repeated himself, and Jimmy did as he was told.
He took off his goddamn britches.
He took off his britches. And the man then hit Jimmy over the head multiple times with his handgun, and he knocked Jimmy out anyway. And Mary thought the dude was trying to rob them, and the whole time, too, he looked at her and he was like, turn around. So she was like, she didn't know exactly what was going on the whole time.
It was dark, too.
Yeah, it was dark. It was late at night. All of these murders happened at night, after 9 o'clock at least, or after 8 o'clock-ish. So she thought that the man was trying to rob them. So she showed Jimmy's wallet, and she was like, hey, dude, we don't have any money.
Yeah.
He called her a liar, and then he struck her with a blunt object. He then told her to run, and he started doing some weird psychological shit with her, because he was like, all right, stop running. And then he was like, all right, run that way. Like, he was just fucking with her.
Holy shit, dude.
And then she ran to a car, but it was empty. Like, she was trying to, ask for help, but there was no one there.
Oh, man.
The man caught up to her and asked her why she was running. Obviously, she was like, because you fucking told me to. Like, you literally just told me to run.
Oh, my God, dude.
And he again was like, liar! And he sexually assaulted her with the barrel of his gun.
Yikes.
Yeah, not good. And after the panic, Mary ran off and tried to flag down a car, but she was ignored. She then ran to a house, and she fucking, pounded on it until she got an answer, just like, fucking answer me.
Yeah.
And the owners woke up, and they were able to call the police.
Oh, thank God.
So during this time, Jimmy woke up and got the attention of a passerby, because he was passed out this whole time.
Yeah, he got knocked out.
So the guy left. He got the attention of this guy. The guy left. He was like, all right, I'm going to leave you here and go call someone, which I think that was a weird decision. But
I would have taken him with me.
Yeah, I guess different time.
I don't know.
I don't know. I guess I guess
you never know.
issues.
You never know until you're in the situation.
Yeah, so in about 30 minutes, Bowie County Sheriff W.H. Bill Presley and 3 other officers arrived at the scene of the attack. That's a whole name.
That is a whole name. I was just going to say that.
So the man had already left, and they found Jimmy's pants about 100 yards away from the crime scene.
You
still laughing about that name?
Yeah, his first name is W. Imagine.
I think that stands for something.
No, I
know. They
just
name you W?
I know. I was just going to say, imagine your parents are like, yeah, your name is going to be W.H.
That's like...
And then a B.
They, had a female name planned out that, started with those letters, and then a boy came out, and they were like,
W.
W-B. That works.
There you go.
That works. So, unfortunately, Mary was hospitalized overnight, and Jimmy was out of commission for a few weeks due to multiple skull fractures.
Wow, he beat the shit out of him, dude.
Yeah, Mary also said later that she assumed Jimmy was dead. And the reason for this is because the strikes on him were so fucking loud that she thought that the man shot him.
Holy fuck, dude.
Yeah, really fucked up. So, unfortunately, shit got tricky when they were questioned. Mary seemed to recall that the man was about 6 feet tall, and that he was a black man wearing a white sheet over his head with holes cut out on the mouth and eyes.
Okay.
But then they talked to Jimmy, and he was like, hey, I was blinded by the flashlight. I didn't get the greatest look. But then he said, but, I think it was a white man. And he was like, and I don't remember seeing a mask. But he was like, the dude was 6 feet tall.
So he was a big dude.
So police actually seemed to think that Mary was lying. They thought that the attacker was a possible ex-boyfriend of hers who wasn't too thrilled about her moving on. And, it does sound outlandish, but then when you think about it at the same time, it's like there weren't any attacks going on around here, and it did sound like that attack was without reason. They were like, okay, why did they not focus on you? Why did they tell you to turn around? Why did they make this guy take off his pants? Didn't rape him, beat him, and then went on to you and then let you run away. So they were trying to piece out where it was.
I could imagine like looking at all of the evidence how it would seem bad, but then again, like she was sexually assaulted. And I could assume that there was proof from that.
Well,
that she was in the hospital for a few days.
Well, they questioned her pretty shortly after.
Okay.
It was like when they had to question her, when it was still fresh in her mind.
Mm-hmm.
I will say, I think some of the cops around here are complete fucking bozos, but some of them actually...
Most are.
Yeah, some of them did seem to do a lot for this case and worked on it like their entire lives. So around a month later, the Phantom struck again. Richard L. Griffin, age 29, and his girlfriend Polly Ann Moore, age 17, were found...
I'm not going to say anything about that. Carry on.
Different time.
I guess.
That's really what it is. I looked into
but
this.
But that's like 12 years apart.
Yes, I looked into this a little bit. Apparently, like the age for marriage was around the average was around 20 at the time, and today the average for marriage is around like 27-ish.
Oh, okay.
So it was just kind of like a different time, and I think it might have... I don't know for sure if it was legal at that time, under 18. I don't know what the...
It might have been in Texas.
Yeah, I don't know. Actually, I think Texas is 18.
I think... Nowadays, I think
nowadays,
it's 18.
I think Texas is 18, but
it might have been younger back then.
But I don't know if we talked about this before, but actually California is like one of only like 7 states that have the legal age
over
at 18.
Yeah.
I think that's so weird because we've lived here like forever. So I'm like, I look at someone under 18, I'm like,
you're a child.
Yeah, I'm like, don't even walk next to me.
Yeah.
I don't want to talk to you.
You bitches could never.
Yeah.
Just kidding. That's mean.
So it's, I don't know, it's weird, but I guess that's just kind of, it's different all around the United States.
Nowadays, if somebody was 29 dating a 17-year-old, I'm calling the police.
Yeah, I'm calling the cops. I don't even care if you're in a state where it's allowed.
I don't give a
well,
shit,
I guess
dude.
I
That's
can't.
weird.
I guess I can't, but yeah, I still look down on you.
I'll try. You are being judged.
So they were found dead in Richard's 1941 Oldsmobile sedan on March 24th, 1946. Wow. This was between 8:30 and 9 o'clock a.m.
They were found?
That they were found, yes.
Okay.
So the car was parked on the side of the road, and a passerby noticed and assumed that there was just like 2 people sleeping in the car.
Mm-hmm.
But, upon further investigation, that's not the case. So Richard was found between the front seats on his knees with his hand resting on his crossed hands.
With his head resting on his crossed hands.
Yeah, rather weird. His head resting on his crossed hands and his pockets turned inside out. And Polly was found face down in the back seat, and evidence suggests that her body was actually moved and that she was killed on a blanket outside of the car.
Huh.
So both had been shot in the back of the head, but Richard was also shot twice while still in the car. A bloody patch of sand outside suggested that both may have been killed outside of the car and then moved back in. So there were rumors that Polly had been sexually assaulted, but apparently the bodies had been taken away before any tests were done. I'm not sure why this happened. That doesn't make sense to me, but whatever. After this, police launched a citywide investigation along with the Texas and Arkansas City Police, the Department of Public Safety, Miller and Cass County Sheriff's Departments, and the FBI.
Holy shit.
So this shit was fucking real.
That's a huge fucking...
This was serious. So by March 30th, police had interviewed close to 60 potential suspects and posted a $500 reward in an effort to gain any new information that led to the capture of the attacker. And in 1946, $500 was around like $6,500.
Holy bejesus.
So unfortunately, the calls the authorities received may have done more harm than good, as we see in a lot of cases.
Yeah.
So they soon after received over 100 false leads. They were both killed with a .32 Colt pistol.
I don't know what that means.
32
a gun.
caliber.
There you go.
So Richard Lanier Griffin was a carpenter, a painter, and a war veteran who had only just returned home the year earlier.
Ah, poor fella.
Polly Ann Moore had just graduated from high school the year before her murder. Her friends described her as homie. Not as like a homie, but like she was a homie girl. She's a homie. She likes being home.
Yeah.
And her and Richard had only been dating for about 5 or 6 weeks at the time of their deaths.
Oh man.
So only around 3 weeks had passed before the town of Texarkana had heard from the Phantom again. On the evening of Saturday, April 13th, Brady Jo Booker, who was only 15 years old, had a show at the VFW Club with her band, the Rhythmaries.
I'm not gonna attempt that.
I actually heard this pronounced and I forgot how to pronounce it. So it's like Rhythmaries. I think it's Rhythmares. I think it's like Rhythmares or something like that.
Rhythmares?
I think it's
Rhythmares?
I think it's Rhythmares.
Rhythmares?
I'm like 99% positive it's Rhythmares now that I'm saying it. So she was a badass fucking saxophone player.
Oh, hell yeah, dude.
And in the early hours of April 14th, her friend Paul Martin, of 17 years old, arrived to pick her up from the performance. This was around 1:30 a.m. supposedly because her band, they played a lot of late shows in a lot of cool places. So neither of them were ever seen again.
Oh, that sucks.
Paul's body was found at around 6:30 a.m. by a passing family. He was lying on his side, and upon investigation, blood was found further down on the side of the road by a fence. So it pretty much said that he walked for a while.
Oh, so he bled out.
Yeah.
Oh,
he had been shot 4 times, once through the nose, again through the left fourth rib from behind, a third time in the right hand, and then finally through the back of his neck.
Oh my god, dude.
Betty Jo's body wasn't found until hours later, and it was around 2 miles away from Paul's body, and it was behind a tree.
Okay.
Her body was lying on its back. She was fully clothed, and she had her right hand in the pocket of her overcoat.
Mm-hmm.
And she was shot twice, once through the chest and once in the face. The weapon used was the same as in the first double murder. It was a .32 automatic Colt pistol. So Paul's car was found about 3 miles away from Betty Jo's body, and about, I don't know why I keep saying that.
Betty's Joe.
And around 1.5 miles away from his body. It was parked outside Spring Lake Park with the keys still in it. Examinations of the bodies show that they had both put up a horrendous struggle. Like, they fought their asses off.
I was going to say, because Paul was shot in the hand, so he was probably, going like that. In the nose, dude. That's
fucked up.
Oh, man.
That's fucked up. So, law enforcement was unable to locate Booker's saxophone at the crime scene.
Mm-hmm.
It was later found in some brush near her body, which kind of shows how hard police looked. Because it took them 6 months. It took them 6 months to find it. And what I read, it literally said it was in some shrubs, by her body. So I'm like, okay, you didn't
even check the surrounding area.
Yeah, at the crime scene that much, if that's the fucking case. So this actually inspired a pretty iconic scene in the 1976 rendition of The Town That Dread Sundown. I don't know if you remember, but the killer, he attaches a knife. I don't think it's a saxophone. It's like a fucking trombone or something.
Oh my god, I do remember this.
No, it's not a trombone. It's not a saxophone either, though. It's
the one that you go like this with, right?
What is oh wait, no, that is a trombone because I was confusing trombone with tuba.
Tubas are huge ones. Yeah.
So it was a trombone. It wasn't a saxophone because I don't think you could do this with a saxophone. You could not. So he has this fucking trombone. And
I remember this part.
He's practicing blowing in and out with it, and then he attaches a knife to it, and he's like. And he's fucking stabbing this chick in the back while she's on the tree.
I remember that scene, dude.
It's comical. It's so fucking weird.
It kind of it's really fucking cool, but it's. I'm sorry this happened in real life, but that part in the movie.
Well, I don't think that happened in real life.
No, I'm saying I'm sorry that she died in real life because in the movie it was kind of funny. You know?
Well, yeah, and in the movie they're like, these are all true events. This is how it happened. Just the names were changed, and I'm like that. Didn't happen.
Yeah, I don't
that part.
I mean, it could have.
It could have, yes, but that does no. Her saxophone was found. First of all, it's a saxophone, so no, that didn't happen. Second of all, it was found still in its case, just lying in some shrub nearby. So that didn't happen. That movie, the 1976 movie, is fucking wacky.
It is. It's pretty wacky.
Dude, the antics of the cops in that movie is fucking ridiculous. It makes me think that the cops are even... I rewatched both of these while I was doing the research of this, because I haven't watched them in a year or two. But I rewatched both of them, and I was like, holy shit, this 76 version is so wacky. They were literally just, joking about this dumb cop who's like, oh shit, I forgot the keys, and, runs inside, is like, I gotta get the keys.
I remember, first time I watched it was probably, the original was probably, 5 years ago, and it was on Netflix or something. And I saw the sack on his head, and I was like, oh, fuck, that looks cool. So I put it on, and I was like, holy shit. And then it said based on true events, and I was like, oh my god, even better.
Really crazy story, really crazy movie.
It is. I even feel as you're reading this, I feel like we're doing a movie episode. It's weird.
Because it kind of is. It's if you guys want to know if you watch the movies, they are loosely based, but it tells you pretty much everything, kind of how it went. It gives you the timeline and the story pretty perfectly. So, Betty Jo was 15 at the time of her death. All of her friends described her as an incredible, lively person. Really sad. Paul was only 17 at the time of his death, and he was just kind of known as a quiet church kid. So, they were both just really nice people who didn't deserve any of this. It's pretty fucked up.
Sad, yeah.
Neither of them had even graduated high school yet.
Oh, man.
The reward was now near $2,000 in 1946 money for any useful information. So, that's what, close close to like 24,000, 25,000.
Yeah.
I think that's like 25,000 now. So rumors circulated throughout the area, with one rumor suggesting that a local minister had turned in his own son as a suspect in the Martin Booker murders. Or Booker.
A minister turned his own son in as a suspect?
It's a rumor.
Oh, okay.
So on April 18th, Captain Gonzalez, I don't know how to say his name, but it's Gonzalez. She issued a statement to the public during a press conference verifying that the murderer had not been caught and that the rumors circulating among the public and in the newspapers were malarkey. Utter malarkey. But actually, he said, a hindrance to the investigation and harmful to innocent persons. And yeah, he's right.
We are in the 1940s.
He's right. So, another 3 weeks had now passed, and another event.
Oh, no.
On Friday, May 3rd, sometime before 9 p.m., Virgil Starks, a farmer and welder, age 37, was in his ranch house, and he turned on his favorite weekly radio show. His wife, Katie, age 36, gave him a heating pad for his sore back, remember that, and went to her bedroom. She heard something in their backyard and asked Virgil to turn down his radio and check it out. So he's like, all right, bet.
I'm the man of the house. I'll squish that spider for you, baby.
But unfortunately, he does not squish that spider. He gets squished.
Oh, he was the spider.
A few seconds later, 2 gunshots were fired into the back of his head through a closed window.
Oh, my God.
Like, literally seconds after she was like, hey, can you check this out? His wife didn't hear the gun. This part's really...
That terrifies me, dude. That
this whole story right here is fucking life-shattering. It's terrifying. His wife didn't hear the gunshots. She only heard the broken glass. Okay. Because his pistol, I don't know if it was a quiet pistol or if he had a silencer on it. It seems like in the movies, it seems like it's depicted like he has a silencer on it. I don't know what the case was. I don't know the case about old 1946 pistols, but maybe they're not loudest. So she thought her husband dropped something and went to check it out. And when she got into the room, she saw her husband stand up and then fall back down into his chair.
After being shot in the head twice?
Yeah. She saw blood and she ran to him and lifted up his head. And when she realized he was dead, she ran to the phone to call the police.
That is fucking horrifying.
Yeah. She started calling, and within 2 rings, she was shot in the face twice. 1 bullet entered her right cheek and exited behind her left ear.
So it went like that, like diagonal kind of,
Yeah, so the other went in just below her lip, and it broke her jaw, and it splintered out several teeth before lodging under her tongue.
Oh my God.
She dropped to her knees, but she managed to get back up to her feet.
Oh my God, dude.
She ran.
It's a Ford Tough Mama Bear.
She fucking ran to get a pistol from the living room, but she was literally blinded by the blood.
Oh, I bet she was probably like...
So she heard the killer tearing at screen wire from the porch, and she assumed that she was going to be killed. So she stumbled toward her bedroom near the front of the house to leave a note.
Holy fuck, dude.
The killer...
That's thinking on your feet, like literally, dude.
Crazy. The killer ran to the back of the house and made his way up the porch, and she heard him entering through the window, so she turned around and she ran through the dining room, and then through the bedroom, down a hallway, through another bedroom, and then into the living room and out the front door, leaving like a fucking river of blood and teeth throughout the house and across the street.
This literally sounds like a horror movie.
Blood and teeth. It's like that fucking scene from Halloween, dude.
No, dude, that's literally a nightmare for me.
Oh, God, it's fucking terrifying. So, barefoot and still in her blood-soaked nightgown, she ran across the street to her sister and brother-in-law's house, but no one was home. She ran another 50 yards to another neighbor and said that her husband was dead, and then she just collapsed, like, right then and there. Like, she got to her area, and she couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
The neighbor took Katie to the hospital, and she was in, like, a semi-conscious state somehow, and she was, like, slumping forward in the front seat, like, slumping forward and backward, like,
just... from blood loss?
Yeah, that's just a terrifying thing to think about. Yeah. And she apparently lost, like, a shit ton of blood, but they were, like, somehow she was still, like, stable, like, somehow. Like, she was fucking just up.
I can't even imagine the pain and, like, the...
It's probably just fucking
shock. The fear,
shock.
Dude. Like, the fear and the shock. Like, I can't even imagine that.
So, Miller County Sheriff W.E. Davis, who became the head of investigation, questioned Mrs. Starks in the operating room, which that seems a little much.
That's a little rude.
That's a little much. She doesn't have teeth, and there's a bullet in her tongue.
And it's fucking rude. She just went through something traumatic.
Yeah, maybe chill for a minute.
Yeah.
So, the news was printed on the front page the next morning. Saturday, May 4th, reading, Murder! Rock City again. Farmer slain. Wife wounded.
Slain.
That's just kind of how tabloids are.
Yeah.
So Kitty and Virgil had been married for 14 years, and The Miller County Sheriff's Department was notified just minutes after the alarm reached Hope City Police. Immediately after reports of the slaying spread, blockades were set up several miles northeast and southwest on Highway 67 East. Arkansas State Police officers Charlie Boyd and Max Tackett got the call on their radio and were the first officers at the scene.
Run that back. What was his name?
Tackett. Max Tackett.
Oh, I thought Max Tackett was like one name. I was like, what the hell is going on here?
Tax Brackett.
Tax Brackett. Hello, my name is Tax Brackett.
What an asshole. So some of the reports were contradictory, and one of the officers said that they found Starks still slumped in the blood-soaked chair, and that the chair had caught fire from the electric heating pad that I mentioned earlier. He said smoke was filling the room and coming up all around the man and between his legs.
Oh my god.
This already dead man.
This is so
That's
chaotic.
That's fucking insane. But another sheriff said that when he arrived, the chair was on fire, but the body was fine because it had fallen out of the chair. So I don't know why those stories were so mixed up. I don't know if one guy was just trying. I feel like it could have gone one way, or two ways. One guy was trying not to exacerbate the situation and not to terrify people. Maybe he didn't want it to get out, and maybe the other guy was just like, oh yeah, shit, this just happened, fuck.
Yeah,
and maybe the other guy was trying to cover it up, or maybe one guy was just exaggerating. He was like, oh my god, the chair was on fire, the guy was on fire, this was happening, blah blah blah.
That's what I was gonna say.
It could have gone either
one
way.
of them wanted to make tabloids, and one of them actually wanted to just solve what was fucking happening. Yeah,
or
that's what it seems like.
It was either that or what I said right now, someone someone was just exaggerating the situation. The other guy was like, yeah, no, that's not what happened. Please calm down. So I don't know. That could have gone either way, but either way, I think that's crazy. Yeah. Whether the body's below it and the chair is fucking on fire,
that's still
or he's on fire, that's fucking crazy.
That is a sight.
That's insane. So in the house, yeah, I don't want to see that either. That doesn't sound fun. So in the house, investigators found a trail of blood with scattered teeth. Could you imagine fucking seeing that, dude? Walking into a crime scene and just seeing not only just a trail of blood all over house, but teeth inside of that.
Teeth? I don't know why. Teeth kind of freak me out a little bit,
That's
especially
terrifying.
when they're not in the mouth. So I could never be a cop.
Hey man, I'm sorry for shitting on you that one day when you were excited about the teeth in Halloween.
I don't even remember that, so apology not accepted, because I don't remember that.
Oh, really? Oh, you were pissed.
What?
It was the teeth reveal when Michael Myers put his hand over the bathroom stall and he dropped the teeth, and I was going to reveal it and I was excited to reveal it, and you were like, it's teeth, and I started making fun of you. I was like, it's teeth.
Okay, I remember now. I remember now.
And you just gave me I wish we were doing a video, because you gave me this death stare. You just looked at me you wanted to fucking kill me.
I probably did.
You were so pissed.
Probably wanted to hit you. I remember this now. I completely forgot about that.
I was like, you asshole. I was like, you're always ruining my reveals. And you were like, I was excited. I was like, fuck you.
Yeah, you were being a dick. Yeah, you know what? Apology not accepted.
I was. You texted me the next day. You were like, yeah, you sounded like an asshole. And I was like, yeah, I probably did. You ruined my reveal.
Oh man.
You know what? I take back my apology. I don't mean it.
Your apology was never accepted. It never will be.
That's good, because I didn't mean it. Fuck. Okay, so on the dining room table, now this is gonna get really dark again. I'm glad we're lightening the mood for a second, because it's gonna get really bad. On the dining room table were Mrs. Stark's supplies for making a dress, which just shows you how fucking terrifying a home invasion is. It just puts that into the perspective. You could be doing anything.
I think home invasions are probably
that's my biggest fear. It's my biggest fucking fear.
One of my worst fears, because they just happen so unexpectedly. You can't oh, my home is gonna get invaded this day, I better not be here. No, they don't care if you're home. They don't care. They don't care, dude. They're just gonna come in and they're gonna fuck your shit up, and it's absolutely terrifying. And I've had nightmares. I've had tons of nightmares. I've had legit real life paranoia over shit like this, dude.
Dude, I've had tons of home invasion nightmares. It's the scariest thing ever. You wake up and you just look around. You're like, oh yeah, I don't want to be in this area right now, because this doesn't seem fun. It's so fucked up. So yeah, there's literally dresses on her fucking table. She's just doing shit. And the officers said that, they declared that after the killer shot Virgil, he waited patiently outside the window to shoot Katie. That's why he shot her so fast when she went to the phone. He was just sitting there watching her, waiting to shoot her.
This dude was a lunatic.
dude, this guy's
whoever
fucking.
he was.
He's terrifying, honestly.
That,
oh my god,
no,
like
this is
the movie, like okay, because I saw the movie before I ever heard about the case, so like
Me too,
I
yeah.
thought I thought it was so like light and fluffy because I don't know, I just see a horror movie and I'm just like I don't think anything of it. I disassociate myself from most things, as you know.
most things. Yeah.
But I just thought this was like a light and fluffy kind of thing, and then when I look into it, I'm like, this is the most fucking terrifying thing like I've ever heard of. Like, oh my, it's insane.
Like even to think like you and your girlfriend and boyfriend like want to go somewhere in private and like you know you guys are like in love and you're cuddling
and you're not
kissing,
safe,
and the entire time somebody's watching you and they plan to kill you.
And that's what they portray in the movie too. Like every time it's like these couples are sitting in the car,
I remember
and
that.
then they look off to the side, and this masked guy's just in the fucking trees. Like, oh my god, if I ever saw that,
I would be out of there so fast, dude.
not even one of the. I would like. This is why I keep a bat in my car. Like I don't know. I probably he'd kill me, but like I'm gonna go out with a bat.
Yeah, instead of a bang, I'm gonna go out with a bat.
Oh, with a bat, dude. Reminds me
I
of the
should
story.
start keeping weapons in my car.
I was listening to one of Morbid's listener tales the other day. I think it was 9. That episode's so funny because Elena keeps calling Ash ass the whole time. I called Ash ass the other day, and she was like, "All right, kill." I was like, "All right, ass." She was talking about how like one of her friends' true stories. Like there was a terrorist in their backyard.
Oh my god!
And the whole time, like there was like SWAT teams everywhere and like hundreds of cops and stuff. And she said her friend's husband was just like, "I want my bat." It was like there's so many people protecting you around you. But you're like, I need that bat. And that would totally be me in this situation. Be like, yeah.
I need to go get this one bat from isn't it like a mini bat that you have in there too?
It's a small bat.
Yeah.
But you know what, dude? I look at a mini bat as more opportunity. I can swing that harder than I can a bigger bat.
Dude, you could probably really fuck somebody up with that bat.
Yeah, I almost have a couple times. Pulled it out a couple times. Usually people leave when you pull out a bat.
I really need to get a weapon because there's been a lot of times where I have not felt safe.
Got a golf club too.
I'll take that.
Okay.
You got a crowbar? I'll take one of those too.
I don't got a crowbar, but I got a golf club.
Same thing.
Yeah.
You can golf with a crowbar.
Hey man, I've pulled the golf club out on someone before and
Oh my god.
they left.
Fair enough.
Well, this guy almost hit my car. Like he was driving on the wrong side of the road. He almost hit me, and then I swerved off to the side and I got out and I was like, "Dude, what the fuck?" And he looked at me. He was like, "Nah, that was you." And I was like, "You're on the wrong side of the road."
What?
And then he was like, he started fucking like literally dumb gangbanging on me. And he was like, "What's up?" And I turned around and I grabbed my golf club and I was like, "What the fuck is up?" And he just
what the fuck is up, Kyle?
he left. So they work when they work. Maybe not always.
Maybe, yeah, if there's a gun, you can't bring a golf club to a gunfight.
It's possible I could have got shot right then, but he wasn't.
You could have.
He wasn't a real gangbanger, obviously.
He wasn't.
Sometimes you got to test him. You're like, hey, you got a gun? Because if you don't, this is happening.
You're going to get clubbed, bro. Get clubbed.
Okay, so let's get back to the story. So 3 clues were found at the scene. The first was a caliber of bullets. The second was a flashlight found in the hedge underneath the window that Starks was shot from. And the last clue was bloody prints around the house, shoe prints on the kitchen floor, and smudged fingerprints in other places. So there was some evidence on this one. Apparently the bullet was a .22 caliber, so
it was different.
It was a different size, so they were like, maybe this isn't him, but they were like, I don't know, it still fits.
Yeah.
It's different because it's not like in cars, so I think this murder was the hardest to like kind of get into the story.
Like for it to fit the MO, if you will.
I think it still fits. It's really weird though, because the only people that saw him with the mask were from the first attack, and one person said he didn't have the mask. So the whole mask thing, even in general, is kind of up in air. Like, because the first girl, she's the only one who saw, the one that survived. She's the only person that saw the mask, and Jimmy, her boyfriend,
he said he didn't see one.
Yeah, he didn't see it. So it was like, I don't know. And then Katie right now, she was going through some shit. So she didn't really catch what was going on. She was like, I don't fucking know, dude.
I mean, like, fear can do a lot to your brain.
Oh, yeah.
Like in a situation like that. So I wouldn't doubt that people like thinking they saw something when they didn't.
It's possible that he never had a mask, but I think that's a really interesting part of the story because this whole legend, this whole time, and all the movies and everything, they're based off of this guy in the mask. It's like, and that's what everyone sees him as. And he looks like a phantom.
A bag? What is it called?
It's just like a potato sack.
Potato sack.
But I don't think that's what his is. It looks more like a sheet that's kind of like wrapped around.
In the movies, I thought it was a potato sack.
Jason's is totally a fucking potato sack.
Yeah, in the movies, it looked like a potato sack.
No, it's like a sheet that's like wrapped around his head. And you know what? Even in the fucking Jason looks more like the Phantom Killer in the reboot, the Friday the 13th reboot from like I don't know, 2008 I think or something. I might be wrong on that, but that reboot also has Jason in his sack head, but it's wrapped around just like the town, the dreaded sundown.
Oh, there's a connection here.
Yeah, so
not a connection, but there's inspiration.
No, yeah, totally. Guess, yeah. Like that solidified my theory. Yeah, I was just like, yeah, that's fucking based off of it. So, well, I guess that's not the same. My theory is falling apart. So that flashlight that I mentioned a minute ago, it was sent to Washington, D.C. for further inspection by the FBI. Mm-hmm. The authorities had ruled out robbery as a motive because no money nor was Katie's purse taken from the home. And that's also why they were kind of linking it back to the Phantom Killer, because he never went for money before either. He was
it was just...
He yelled at the first person for that, but I think that was him just wanting to yell.
What I think is kind of weird is that like never anything was stolen, but you said that that one couple their pockets were turned inside out.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was thinking about that too.
So maybe he just wanted to like
I think he wanted to make it seem
to trick them. Yeah, maybe.
Because he never cared about money before. Like he yelled at like the other person, but like he told the guy to take his pants off. He didn't tell him to like
like hand over your money.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's what he was. I don't think he was ever after that. I think it was just him trying to switch up his MO. Mm-hmm. But this was also before MOs were a thing.
Yeah, that's
true. This was before we had serial killer profiles or anything. Yeah. So like this was when people were in the fucking dark, because serial killers, like that term didn't even come around till what, the 70s?
Late 70s. Yeah. Almost 80s, yeah.
Yeah, it's fucking like, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. Different times, man. So that was a weird cough. So the reward was now up to around $7,000. And on May 9th, Sheriff Davis was notified that the flashlight found at Stark's murder scene contained no fingerprints. On Wednesday, May 29th, a colored picture on the front page of Texarkana Gazette showed the flashlight. And this was actually the Texarkana Gazette's first colored photograph ever.
Wow.
For a good cause, too. The description under the picture read, "Have you seen this 2-cell flashlight? This is a picture in detail of the flashlight found at the scene of the Sark's murder. This is a 2-cell all-metal flashlight, both ends of which are painted red. 3 rivets hold the head of the flashlight to the body of the light. There has been only a limited number of these lights sold in this area. If you have owned or know of anyone who owned one of these lights, report at once to Sheriff W.E. Davis Miller, County Courthouse, Texarkana. You may be the one to aid in solving the phantom slayings."
I love the accent you chose.
Thank you.
I can't pin what it is, but I
don't know what it is. I was going for something different, and I messed it up, so I went with what I had.
You know what? And it was solid the whole way through. Like it didn't peak or anything like that.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I peaked.
Sounded great.
I peaked.
Oh, I didn't hear it.
I hit my prime.
Oh, okay, that's what you meant. Yeah. Oh, yeah, you definitely did that. I agree.
So, on May 11th, in the May 11th edition of the Texarkana Gazette, Sheriff Presley and Chief of Police Jack N. Runnels asked for any information on missing persons on the night of the murders. He asked townspeople to recall the nights of February 22nd, 23rd, March 23rd, 24th, April 13th, 14th, and May 3rd. The statement declared, "We want every man and woman in these 2 countries to recall the dates of the murders and also to recall whether or not any person close to them was missing or out of the pocket during those nights. Persons who have such information have been withholding it when they know they should report it, are leaving themselves open to possible charges of complicity in the event the slayer is captured. Make no mistake about the fact that the slayer will be captured, because we will not give up this hunt until he has been captured or killed. All information received will be treated confidentially. We urge you to come in and tell what you know. Don't be hesitant or fear that you are causing an innocent man embarrassment and trouble, and as much all investigation will be confidential." This is no time to take any chance on information which might lead us to the slayer. This maniac must be captured. We believed we are justified in going to any ends to halt this chain of murder. Bear in mind, this killer may strike at anyone. He may strike at persons closer to him. For that reason, we believe any person with information that may lead us to the murderer shall act in the interest of self-preservation. Self-preservation.
Go off, Caleb.
So rumors were still being spread. Some people believe that the slayer had been caught. Some believe that he was held at the county jail. Others believe that he was flown to an out-of-town jail. And the Gazette and the news offices were drowned with phone calls, both local and long-distance, inquiring about the apprehension of the killer.
Oh, boy.
Texarkana residents started to call the police for any and every little thing that happened around them. Like, they were literally like, hey, there's something outside of my house. I'm not having a good time. Can you please come kill it?
Dude, straight up, not having a good time. Come and kill this thing.
These were all the result of excitement, wild imagination, and even near hysteria. Like,
I was going to say, like I said earlier, like fear can make the mind do weird shit.
This is social hysteria.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. It's almost a satanic panic, but not satanic.
So the police,
it's just panic.
The police had to let out another statement. These rumors positively are not true. We understand why the people believe them, and all of us are tense and hopeful that any hour officers will announce that they have the killer in custody. The people must not become so anxious to rid themselves of the killer. However, that they brand innocent persons as the murderer and believe unfounded stories. The investigating officers have announced that when and if the killer is apprehended or killed, the public will be given the full story through newspapers. We reaffirm the statement. The newspapers are kept posted on developments in the investigation, and they will announce all news immediately. We believe that the people have a right to know if the killer is caught or killed, and we pledge ourselves to let the public have this information.
The public.
So earlier, I said that people started to slowly panic more and more after the first, second, and third killings of the murderer. Stores sold out of locks, guns, ammunition, window shades, night latches, and other means of protection.
Oh, man. After
the murders, many people, they just kind of gave up on going out. They were like, I'm not doing this anymore.
I fucking would. I would just be like, no, I'm staying in my house, and even that's not safe.
You're right. And because of the drop in business, liquor stores began closing at 9:30 p.m. You can imagine how that is a panic to people like us.
That's absolute hysteria.
Are you
kidding me?
Is a whole issue. And a statement was posted in the paper saying, "We fully understand the state of mind in which Texarkana is now gripped. We are no longer selling no liquor to persons who have already been drinking. We do not wish to add further to the troubles of the police. Any person who drinks whiskey at this time to get drunk and wander around the streets of Texarkana is further complicating the works of the police and is placing himself in grave danger of being shot by people whose nerves are on edge from the recent murders."
So if you're drunk in Texarkana at this time, you're going to get killed, dude.
You're going to get shot. You're not going to have a good time.
Insane.
Be drunk in your house. It is also said that a fearful store owner shot a customer who wanted some beer in the foot. The guy was like, "Hey, I want some beer. Give me some White Claws." And the guy was like, "Bop. You shot."
That's bad, dude. That's like absolute hysteria at this point.
You fucked.
Yeah, dude. Don't try and get drunk after 9 p.m.
Don't do it. 9:30.
9:30.
9:30.
I'm sorry.
So because citizens were basically going insane at this point.
I could imagine, yeah.
When an officer would pull someone over, they would have to turn on their sirens, stand in their headlights, and announce themselves to people. They were like, "Hey, I'm a police officer. Don't kill me."
It's insane to me that this happened in 1946, right?
It seems not that long ago, but at the same time,
no, okay.
It's very long.
When you say 40, when you're speaking about a year and you say 40, like that's a long fucking time ago. Like,
I wasn't alive.
I mean, obviously.
I wasn't close to being alive.
I was like
I was less than halfway.
Dude, my mom was like 20 years old at this time. Oh, no, she wasn't. She wasn't even born yet. My mother wasn't even born yet. Quick maths with Bree, you guys. Once
Cheryl
again.
was not here.
She was not. My grandma was like in her teenage years.
So one Captain Guns Lewis helped fuel some of the madness when he announced on the radio that Texarkanians should oil up their guns and see if they are loaded. Put them out of the reach of children. Do not use them unless it's necessary. But if you believe it is, don't hesitate.
Oh my God, dude.
That's kind of double-sided. He's like, "Hey, don't use your guns. But if you think you need to use your gun, use your gun."
So protect me in order to protect me and mine, if anybody comes into my house, it's dead. It's out.
It's done?
It's done. You can try, but whatever.
Don't come
if anybody comes into my house, you're getting shot, dude. Like, the police gave me the go-ahead. Like, don't fuck with me. Don't knock on my fucking door because I'm going to protect me and my family, like, whether it comes down to it or not. Like, and then again, it is double-sided because somebody could be hurt from the actual murderer and come to the house looking for help, and then you just kill the guy. So it's crazy, and it's really double-sided.
But there's also that part of don't trust anyone.
Yeah, no, that's what I'm saying. Like,
you never know what's going to happen.
You never know. That's what's so crazy about it.
So when he was asked what advice he could give to the public to quiet their fear, he responded, "I'd tell them to check the locks and bolts on their doors and get a double-barreled shotgun to take care of any intruder who tried to get in."
Understandable.
You are not doing good at calming the panic.
Oh,
but
yeah,
I respect the plight.
In that form, yeah, you are not calming anybody down, but he's not wrong.
He's right.
He is right.
He's right.
I'm sorry, but he's right, dude. Like,
so even though most of the town was in fear, some kids decided to park on pretty much stranded out roads.
Lovers lanes. Okay.
Yeah, deserted roads and whatnot. They were like, hey, we're going to catch the killer myself. I'm going to do this.
Egos were boosted.
So one night, Chief Deputy Tillman Johnson was patrolling a vacant road with Arkansas State Trooper Charlie Boyd when they came up to a parked car. And they were like, hey, this car's parked. And Johnson got out while Boyd stayed behind. And Johnson walked up to the car, and he noticed a couple. And he was like, hey, I am Tillman Johnson with the Miller County Sheriff's Department. Aren't you scared to be parked here late at night?
Mm-hmm.
And the girl was like, you ought to be scared, mister. It's a good thing that you told me who you are. And she revealed a pistol that she was pointing at him the entire time.
That's a boss bitch right there.
She was like, yeah, don't fuck with me. I'm going to shoot you.
She's fucking packing, dude.
I'm going to shoot you up.
Nice.
So Johnson got out while Boyd stayed behind. And he was like, hey, don't shoot me.
You know what, dude? Just don't do that.
Tone it down. So some volunteers and office volunteers alike started to lay in wait or possibly in disguise. Some of them were in disguise and full. When you see that in the Town of Dread Sundown, where this guy has he has a big mustache, and he has this other guy's big titties.
This dude has big titties?
Huge tits.
Nice.
Out to fucking here. One of them's lopsided, and the other guy's like, hey, you got some lopsided titties.
I do not remember titties on a man.
And he's like, hey, man, don't touch my tits. And the guy's like, hey.
You know what? You touch my tits, you're getting shot, dude.
Grabs the whole boob.
I'll shoot
Grabs
somebody.
the lopsided boob, and the guy's like, shit.
I'll shoot somebody for touching my tits. I don't give a fuck.
Don't do that.
I'm gonna shoot him up.
Unfortunately, the Phantom never took this bait. He was like,
okay.
those are fake boobs. So
whack.
throughout the investigation of the Phantom Killer case, almost 400 suspects were arrested. And in the Hollis and Laurie case, no suspects were apprehended. In the Griffin and Moore case, over 200 persons were questioned, and about the same number of false tips and leads were checked. 3 suspects were taken into custody for bloody clothing, and 2 of whom were released after officers received satisfying explanations. They were like, hey, that checks out.
It adds up.
So the remaining suspect who was held in Vernon, Texas, for further investigation, he was later cleared of suspicion. In the Martin and Booker case, a taxi driver quickly became a major suspect because his cab was seen in the vicinity of the crime that morning, but the driver was soon ruled out. 59 officers received a lead from Jerry Atkins. 59 is not the number of officers. That is my note. That's the place where I am in my notes. So they received a lead from Jerry Atkins. This was Booker's band leader. And he stated that Betty had carried a saxophone with her because no saxophone was found, and officers hoped that it would lead them to a suspect. And we talked about this a little bit earlier.
We did, yeah.
But
these rumors positively are not true. We understand why the people believe them, and all of us are tense and hopeful that any
officers received a lead from Jerry Atkins, who was Booker's band leader, and he stated that Betty had carried a saxophone with her. Because no saxophone was found, officers hoped that it would lead them to a suspect. Guys, I'm drunk. My notes are not drunk, but I'm drunk.
Yeah, we're very drunk.
On Saturday, April 27th, a man was arrested in Corpus Christi, Texas. That's where one of our friends lives. I'm not going to say her name.
I think that's where Selena's from, too.
Let's not say that. But also, that's not where she's from. She is...
Singer, Selena.
Oh!
Dumbass.
Different
Just
Selena.
gave yourself away.
Different Selena.
Selena's, if you will.
Texas
Selena with an S.
For trying to sell a saxophone to a music store. So the previous Thursday, the 30-year-old man walked into a music store without an instrument and asked the salesperson if the store wanted to buy a Bundy alto saxophone, not Ted Bundy. The girl also told him that she would need to speak to her manager. She's like, hey, I don't know if I can sell this right now. There's some complications. He's like, hey, what do you have to talk about it for? Well, you work here, don't you? You gotta talk to your manager? You're an idiot. So the girl was like, this guy seemed nervous. I felt weird. I went to talk to my manager. He left.
Oh. Yikes.
Yes. The man was arrested 2 days later at a waterfront hotel after purchasing a .45 caliber revolver from a pawn shop. And on April 30th, the sales girl identified as the same man who had tried selling a saxophone. She was like, hey, that's the guy.
This is sketch.
That's the guy.
Suspect. That's the guy.
That's the guy right here. So, although no saxophone was found in his possession, the police found a bag of bloody clothing in his hotel room.
What?
Yes. And the man was like, hey, that blood, I was in a bar fight the other night. You see my forehead? There's a cut right here on my forehead. So, that's what that was. So, unfortunately for investigators, but fortunately for the man, his story checked out.
Okay.
It was just a coincidence. He happened to get in a bar fight.
I have a hard time believing that.
You do, but at the same time, it's what happened. So,
I guess, but still, that's weird.
That checked out.
A bag of bloody clothes.
Yes, but the thing is, that checked out, and every other thing that he explained checked out.
Okay.
There was times when I got nosebleeds and I just had bloody clothes in an area. So
that's
I mean,
true.
like shit.
I've gotten a few of those.
Shit could have. I've gone a lot. I have chronic nosebleeds.
You do.
So, a small break in the case came around when Max Tackett, a 33-year-old Arkansas State police officer who we mentioned earlier, Tackett, he was a rookie at the time, but he realized that a car had been stolen on the night of one of the murders, and he was like, hey, that happened before, and a car was abandoned, and that seems to have some kind of link. So he was like, hey, on Friday, June 28th, I found this guy. That's not what he said. He just found a guy.
He found a dude. A lonesome dude.
And there was this car. It wasn't even a dude. It was a car in a parking lot that was reported stolen.
Okay.
And he waited, and he arrested a 21-year-old woman named Peggy I have hiccups.
Oh, God.
She stated that she had just gotten married in Shreveport. I think it's Shreveport. But that her husband was currently in Atlanta, Texas. Get your leg away from me.
My leg is in my own space. Don't touch me.
I want to take your space.
Enough. You are touching me for far too long. I am uncomfortable.
In Atlanta, Texas, he was trying to sell another stolen car.
There's an Atlanta, Texas?
I'm comfortable now. You have.
I don't know much about Texas. There's an Atlanta, Texas, and an Atlanta, Georgia. I know that for sure.
That's the shape of Texas. It's shaped like something that shouldn't be shaped like that.
Caleb, what am I? Imagine me shaped as Texas.
You're a Texan.
No, I'm stupid.
You stupid?
Remember that
because
episode
you're a stupid
of SpongeBob?
Texan?
That episode of SpongeBob where SpongeBob is shaped as
Big
Texas?
ol' stupid Texas.
SpongeBob is shaped as Texas, and he's like, "Hey Patrick, what am I?" He's like,
Big ol' stupid Texas.
No, he's like, stupid. And he's like, "No, I'm Texas."
That's my joke about women.
God.
What am I?
You need to stop with that.
Wait, Bree, what am I?
It's cringy.
What am I?
You're ugly.
I'm a woman.
God, I have to pee.
We're
Keep this
peeing.
going.
So.
I'm gonna pee right here, right now.
Almost did that a few times.
God.
Back to the story. He's like, hey, dude, would you recognize this guy that tried to sell this stolen car? Because the other guy, he's like, I don't know if I would. And he's like, well, all right, I have this elaborate plan. He's like, let's take this guy out in public. He's like, I'm hoping that this man who tried to sell the stolen car would notice this other guy and it would freak him out. It's the weirdest plan ever, but for some reason it works.
Oh, no.
It works. And on a Saturday in July, Tackett walked into the Arkansas Motor Coach bus station on Front Street. with this guy. And he's like, my plan's working. This guy saw a man run out of the back of the building, and he chased after him, and he caught him.
Oh.
So the man was Ewell Swinney.
Ewell.
And he refused to speak. He was like, yeah, I'm not talking about this.
Where's my lawyer?
But his wife, Peggy, was like, I'm the lawyer. And she was
Okay.
she was like, oh, he's the Phantom killer. I'm a bad lawyer. This guy killed everyone.
Oh, my God.
And she said that he had killed Betty Jo Booker and Paul Martin. It's a day later. I'm still fucking this name up. Unfortunately, there was some dumb fucking law in 1946, and it was like, hey, a wife can't testify against her husband.
You know what? I think that was a law until like the late 70s.
No,
actually.
You know what? This is a law in Arrested Development where Fonzie was like, hey, no, man, you can't testify against your husband or your wife because that's the law. And they're like, that's not a law.
It's so funny that I was so sure that was like a real law until the late 70s, but in reality, it was just Arrested Development.
Maybe it was a law, and maybe Arrested Development took some of that.
Maybe it could have been. I'm not really sure. I don't have a degree. I don't know enough about laws to dispute this, so...
I'm not a smart person.
I am not either, so it's okay.
So at this point, Ewell was not arrested for the murder because all of the evidence was circumstantial, but it was all sent to... he was still sent to a prison as an offender for car theft because they were like, well, you still stole these cars, so...
You still
you're going
are a criminal.
You're going to jail.
You're going downtown, buddy.
You're not having a good time.
You're not.
So as for the circumstantial evidence and the complications, I want to compare them for a second, and I want to start with the possible evidence.
Mm-hmm.
So the car that Peggy Swinney was arrested for stealing was the one reported missing on the night of the Griffin/Moore murders.
Okay.
When Tackett caught Ewell Swinney on the fire escape, Swinney said, "Please don't shoot me, mister. Don't play games with me. You want me for more than stealing cars." When Ewell was in the police car, he asked Chief Deputy Tillman Johnson, "Mr. Johnson, what do you think they'll do to me for this? Will they give me the chair?" And Johnson responded with, "You won't get much, maybe 5 or 10 years. They don't give you the electric chair for stealing cars." And Swinney then said, "Mr. Johnson, you got me for more than stealing cars."
Wow.
When a lawyer told Peggy that her husband was being held for murder, she exclaimed, "How did they find out?"
What?
She knows something else.
Yeah, she does.
Peggy took officers near the spot where Paul Martin's car was found, and she said that she had walked into the woods there, and the officers found a woman's heel prints in that area.
Wow.
Peggy's family and Ewell's brother-in-law believed Ewell was the Phantom himself. Police found a khaki work shirt in the suspect's room with a laundry mark of the word STARK, which was read under a black light. Stark was one of the people that was murdered.
Oh my God, this gets weirder and weirder, dude.
Ewell Swinney previously owned a .32 caliber Colt automatic, but he had apparently sold it in a craps game. While being accused of murder, Swinney remained silent instead of pleading his innocence, and although that is very circumstantial, it's also weird.
Yeah.
Peggy Swinney confessed to her husband's actions, revealing very detailed information, and some of which was information that officers already knew, and some of which was information they did not know, but still fell in line with the timeline of all the murders.
Okay.
As for the complications, Ewell's fingerprints did not match any of the prints found at the Booker/Martin crime scene. Peggy Swinney recanted her confession, but also, as we know, people recant their confessions after being threatened.
Yeah.
So that very well could have been the case. The Texas Rangers and Sheriff Bill Presley were not convinced that Swinney was the Phantom. I don't think that's too much. I think they're dumb cops.
Yeah.
Swinney denied being the Phantom and never made a confession. Officers, including Bowie County Sheriff Presley, Miller County Sheriff Davis, Texas Chief of Officers, and both sheriff police departments worked day and night for 6 months trying to validate Peggy Swinney's story of her and her husband's whereabouts.
She could have just been a pissed off crazy wife and tried to pin it on him, or it could have been true and she got threatened or paid off for this.
I could be a drunk person that's not reading my notes right.
That could be it too.
So they deduced that Peggy was not telling the truth and that on the night of the murder of Booker and Martin, the couple was sleeping in their car under a bridge near San Antonio. Unknown as either a sick prank or a true confession, an anonymous woman contacted family members of two of the victims, one in 1999 and another in 2000, apologizing for what her father had done. UL Swinney was not known to ever have a daughter.
Okay.
So this kind of brings the story a little bit in the left direction, because I think left's wrong. If you're left-handed, you're a piece of shit.
Hey, man, my boyfriend's left-handed.
Miguel?
Yeah, he's left-handed.
Oh, fuck him. So in this case, there were a few other suspects, but their stories did not hold as much weight as Swinney's. On November 5th, 1948, an 18-year-old freshman at the University of Arkansas, Henry Booker Duty Tennyson, was found dead in his bed at home. He had purchased cyanide, claiming it was used for rat poison, and he killed himself, and he left a note confessing to the killings. He read it, "To whom it may concern, this is my last word to you fine people, and you are fine. I want to thank you for all the trouble that you have gone to send me to college and bring me up. You have really been wonderful. My thanks to Ella Lee for letting me stay with her during my college career, and to Belva Joe for putting up with me the way she did. She had to, I know, but I fell in love with her about a week ago. If she was older, I would have asked her to marry me, but that would be impossible. Why did I take my own life? Well, you committed 2 double murders. You probably would too. Yes, I did kill Betty Jo Booker and Paul Martin in the city park that night, and killed Miss Starks. And when Mr. Starks tried to get away, he was already dead. I keep saying Miss Starks and Mr. Starks.
Yeah.
But
No, I get you.
You know what I'm saying. For you wouldn't have guessed it, I did it when the mother was either out of town or asleep, and when no one saw me do it. For the guns, I disassembled them and discarded them in different places. And when I am found, which has already been done, obviously, please give this typewriter to Craig and tell him that I hope that his child is a boy. It will help him in his work. Everything can go wherever you think it will be, except for the best Viewmaster, which will go to Belva Joe. Please take my bankroll and give it to Daddy. I think it should go to him, and tell him I don't want the car now."
Yeah, what good would be the car if you were dead, my good sir?
Ominous.
Very ominous.
You're dead. Well, goodbye, everybody. See you sometime. If I make the grade, which will now be hard for me to make. H.B. Tennyson.
Yikes. That's interesting.
It's an interesting note, but also it seems like bullshit. So the officers found more notes, and though Sheriff Schreider had no idea which order the many notes were written because they were all undated, Miller County Sheriff W.E. Davis and Bowie County Sheriff Bill Presley were surprised by the news. They said that the youth was never a suspect in the killings and that a detailed investigation would be made. Fingerprints were taken from Tennyson to see if a match could be made to the still unclassified prints found at the scene of Booker/Martin murders. Mrs. Bessie Brown, Booker's mother, actually visited Tennyson's mother to offer some sympathy, and she told her that she felt Tennyson had nothing to do with her daughter's death. So officers also found a confusing note, which they believed to contradict Tennyson's other notes, but they were unsure when it was written. The note read, "Please disregard all of the messages which I have written. They are only thoughts which I was thinking about as possible reasons for taking my own life. As I think about it, it is none of these things. They are not the reasons for this incident. There's a much later point to it all. Happiness. Yes, happiness. If I am out of the way, all the family can get down to their own lives. Mother will not have to worry about me making my own grades. Daddy will not have to put out more money on me, which would do no more good than it did in high school. No one will have to worry about me, having to push me through the things which would be best for me. Although, after much thought, I decided to take this way out. It took more thought than anyone can think possible, and it started about a week ago, when I began to think of a way to get out of this. Running away would not do any good. The police would find me wherever I went and would bring me back to it all. No, Mother and Daddy are not to blame. It's just me. If I had done what they told me to do, this would never have happened. Studying instead of playing ground. Going out with the people in my group instead of staying home and dreaming." That's the end of the note.
Interesting.
So James Freeman, a 16-year-old friend of Tennyson from Texarkana, came forward and talked to a deputy prosecutor after hearing that Tennyson confessed to being the Phantom. He said that the nights of the murder in question, he was actually with Tennyson playing cards.
My heart is leaning towards Sweeney.
Mine as well. I do not think that Tennyson was responsible for this at all.
I don't think he was.
I think
Either
he
of
was
these
just crazy.
guys who killed themselves. Yeah.
It was just one guy. It was just Tennyson.
Oh, okay.
It was
I
the
thought you
same
said
guy.
two. Okay.
No, same guy.
My bad. I'm following now.
So none of the guns that Tennyson could have had access to, actually, they didn't match any of the guns of the crimes.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, he hadn't even known how to drive until 1947, which was a year after these killings.
Yeah.
So I don't think he could have done this. Boney County Sheriff Presley stated that he was notified Tuesday, November 9th, that the fingerprints from Tennyson did not match those at the Booker Martin crime scene. So he was ruled out. But another weird part about this is that the fingerprints of Sweeney's did not match the crime scene either.
Yes, but at the same time, you have to think about that this was 1946.
One, our technology was not that great. Two,
and
he could have covered it up and there could have been other fingerprints in the area. There could have been fingerprints just from people living everyday lives.
Yeah. Yeah, no. He could have done that. Like, that's very easy to do, for one. And then two, like you said, our technology was not that great at the time.
No, it was not. It was it wasn't even good until like the 80s, like 90s-ish. Mm-hmm. So it's like it was
everything was on paper, like everything, dude. It
was not good then.
It's rough, yeah.
So on another night, a man driving saw a hitchhiker, and this guy told him that he needed a ride because his mother was gravely ill, and he was like, "Hey guy, I got $5 for you." Guy's like, "All right, dude. It's $5.
Hop in."
So when they neared the destination, the man pulled out a gun. He was like, "Keep driving or I will kill you like the 5 people that I killed in Texarkana."
Oh my God.
He also apparently mentioned Paul Martin and Betty Jo by name.
Huh.
So he said that he wasn't done with the killing. I actually, on that note, I think that's weird because...
By full name.
By full name, like, yes, he'd probably know about the names later if he looked into investigations. But right off the bat, he didn't know who these people were. He was just killing people for the fuck of it. So... I think that's kind of weird. I don't think that falls into the right category.
I don't know. That's weird.
So he said that he wasn't done with killing and that he was going to go back and kill Martin's dad. And apparently he wasn't aware that Martin's dad was already dead at the time. He passed away from natural causes. So I think this guy might have been completely bullshit. I think he was just trying to get a good story.
Maybe.
So he eventually left. Get this. He stole his $5 back and then he stole $3 from the guy.
What?
I don't know. I think $3 probably maybe like $20 then. But
I'm not gonna rob somebody for $20.
It seems unnecessary.
Very unnecessary. But I mean,
so this attacker was
desperate times call for desperate
pleasures.
I cannot speak. Desperate measures.
So the attacker was said to be around 5'8" with red hair, but he was never found. And on Thursday, May 23rd, 1946, a 21-year-old ex-Army Air Force B-24 machine gunner by the name of Ralph B. Bauman told police that he thinks he might have been the Phantom.
That he didn't remember anything?
Yes, exactly.
Wow.
Exactly what's going on. He said, "I've been in a coma running from something. Maybe murder. I want to clear it up. If I didn't kill 5 people in Texarkana, I want to settle down and be a stuntman in Hollywood. I'm happiest when I'm living in danger." Weird statement.
He was a veteran, you said?
Say your stuff.
He was in the Army, right? That's what you said?
Air Force. Or the Air Force.
Air Force, yeah. He served the nation.
He served the force.
He did.
Weird guy. So the police looked into this, but they were like, yeah, there's not really much evidence to back this up. And they're like, yeah, I think this guy's just crazy.
Yeah.
So let's move on.
I can imagine.
Police also arrested a black man in his 30s whose tire tracks were found on the other side of the road from Martin's corpse, which also seems like a big speculation to me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, people drive places.
Everybody drives.
So he failed a polygraph test, and they were like, oh, shit, we got to hypnotize this guy.
It's weird because, like, now that, like, I know a lot about true crime, not a lot, not everything, but, like, polygraphs don't mean shit, dude. They don't mean shit. Like anybody can be nervous. Their blood pressure can rise. Their fucking heart rate can rise, and it's nothing. It's fucking nothing. Polygraphs mean shit.
It is the dumbest thing ever.
It is the fucking dumbest thing ever.
A psychopath can fake a polygraph so fucking easily.
That's what I was going to say, too. Dude, they're so easy to fake.
If Hannibal Lecter has taught us anything, you can chew out a woman's tongue and still remain with an 85 heart rate.
Yeah. Dude, it's fucking crazy that, like, I feel like, And I don't know if they use them nowadays, but if they do, they need to be completely abolished.
They're used to an extent now, but they are not substantial when it comes to court cases at all. They're not important.
I could imagine so.
So anyway, they decided to hypnotize him, and they started this out. They put a fucking burning cigarette into his arm.
Hypnotize?
Yeah, I said that a minute ago.
They tried to hypnotize somebody.
1946.
In order to get a confession?
1946. That's all I gotta say.
This is fucked. This is thunderfucked, bud. It's fucked, Julian.
Well, it gets more fucked because they put a burning cigarette to his arm and they were like, well, no reaction. This polygraph is working fine. Or this hypnotization is working fine. So they was like, yeah, I was convinced. This is how it goes. So basically the way this went was that hypnotizing is fucking stupid and is not credible in a criminal investigation. He was investigated, but obviously he was clear. They were like, yeah, this is dumb.
They're just like... I could just imagine them standing around in lab coats like, oh, you know what? We're going to hypnotize this guy, and you know what? We're going to get our fucking answers, dude.
You know what? I don't think we got anything out of this.
You know what? It's, close the investigation. I'm done here.
We're good now.
We're good now. Yeah, we got the guy.
So basically...
Well, we didn't, but we got the guy.
They investigated him, but he was cleared, and they found out that he was just some asshole cheating on his wife. That's why he was, like, nervous and, like, failing
guilty.
some of it.
Yeah,
he was guilty, but for other reasons. That shows you right there. Polygraphs are fucking stupid.
They're fucking dumb,
They're dumb, dude. Like, you can literally just be like, oh, I'm cheating on my wife. I don't want to admit other stuff. You could be nervous, and they're like, oh, well, murder. Stupid.
I can't believe this.
So the police also received numerous false confessions. One, including from a guy from, this guy was like, this is the dumbest story ever.
Okay.
This guy confessed to everything. He was like, yeah, I killed everyone. I killed all of them. I did all of it. And then one cop came in the room and he was like, I know this guy. He didn't kill anyone. And then he walked with the guy who was like, hey, so why did you say you killed a bunch of people? And he was like, well, this reporter came up to me and he was like, hey, you want a fifth of whiskey? Tell them you killed everyone. He's like, all right.
That is alcoholism to the next level.
Yeah.
Giving your entire life away for a fifth of whiskey. Are you shitting me? And a fifth of whiskey was probably like 10 cents back then.
It was not standard whiskey price.
Yeah, it was not. I can tell you that.
So pretty much this is the end of my story. This is all the confessions. This is all the possible suspects. My theory, it's Sweeney.
I was just going to say that. It is fucking Sweeney, dude.
There's a picture of him, too, arrested with all the cops, and it just... The way that he looks in that picture... I'm going to pull it up, and I'm going to put it on the video. Mm-hmm. But the way that he looks in that picture, like, all the cops are standing there, cool as day, and obviously he's nervous. Maybe it's because he was being accused of a murder, but the way that he looks and the way he's standing and his hands are placed, I know that means nothing, but, dude, he looks fucking weird. And everything else that goes in that story, I'm like, yeah, you were responsible.
That's what I was going to say. Everything about him leads to it, but he's, like, long dead now, I'm pretty sure. Like, long fucking dead. And I just...
Big dead.
And going back to, like, the fingerprints thing, like, that is so easy to mislead investigators and detectives and shit like that. Like, it's very easy. Like, you could have grabbed anything with a fucking fingerprint on it and used it for that. Like, I'm not, like, crediting him for how much thought that he put into this, but, like, I'm just saying, like, it's very easy to fucking fake. And if his wife said something and then she went back on it, that's suspicious to me. Either way. And Caleb's eating the mic. Can you fit it in there? Oh, that's impressive. That's impressive. Dude. Impressive.
Ayo. So, yeah, I think we both are at agreement. I think that
it's fucking Sweeney.
He's a fucking culprit.
He's the guy. He's the one.
He's the asshole. You heard it here from Horror Soup. Pepper is licking my foot, and I think that's a good time to end this episode.
He's agreeing. Pepper's agreeing.
We had a lot of technical difficulties in this episode.
That we did. We probably shouldn't have killed the 12-pack of claws.
Yeah, we recorded this for like 20 minutes and didn't realize we weren't recording.
It happens. It's happened far too many times.
It happens more often than I'd like to admit. I was just going to say that.
It's bad.
Very often.
Mm-hmm.
So, this was True Crime Thursday. Is Pepper still licking my foot? He has not stopped since I first announced he just stopped.
He's going to start licking mine now, and I'm going to be uncomfortable.
Oh, I lick my foot. There you go. He's a good boy.
I can't believe you let that happen.
He's a good
That
boy.
feels so weird to me. I don't like the way it feels.
I choose to disassociate.
I could not.
True Crime Thursdays, guys. This was the Phantom Killer. Thank you for listening. Thank you so much. This was a pretty fun episode.
It
Not fun, but also fun. I liked it.
It was fun to record.
So, guys, if you want to find us on any social medias, you can find us at Instagram at Horrorsoup Podcast, Facebook at Horrorsoup Podcast, and YouTube at Horrorsoup Podcast. You can also tell a friend about us, which helps us substantially. Subadably. It helps us a lot, and I like it, and I want you to keep doing it.
Do it, huh?
So do it.
Do it, huh?
And if you want free stickers, go to iTunes. Go to iTunes and review us.
Rate us 5 stars, leave a review, and send us your message, and you will get some free stickers.
At horrorsoup@yahoo.com, email us, say review or stickers, and send us your address and a screenshot of the review, and we will send you some stickers.
Without the address, we cannot send you stickers, so be sure to leave your address.
We cannot. And if you want to pay for stickers and you don't want to do that and you want to support us, because it does help a shit ton, it might even help with our rent soon. Donate to patreon.com/horrorsoup. It will help us do a lot of things. Like, honestly, like, eventually, if we get enough Patreons, we'll be able to do this true crime shit full fucking time and work on it all the time. So
we'll send you guys.
That would be awesome. Help us out. It helps a ton. But if you can't do that, tell a friend. Maybe a friend will donate to Patreon. Maybe they're not as shitty as you and they want to donate to us and they want to give us money, but you're a broke bitch.
You know what you can do for free?
You broke bitch.
You can tell a friend. For free.
You could tell a friend for free, though, and we would appreciate that.
It takes 5 seconds out of your day.
It doesn't take that long. Be like, hey, go on Club Penguin. Be like, hey, Horrorsoup's a podcast. Be like, hey, you want to have sex in my igloo?
I'll tell you that for free.
And then I'll go to a fashion show, and I'm like, hey, your igloo sucks. And then I go to the town, and that girl's back there, and she's like, hey, restaurant in my igloo. I'm like, hey, I was at the fashion show. It sucked. It was a shitty fashion show.
It's just a bunch of penguins.
It's more than that. But that's our podcast. I'm at Horrorsoup Caleb at Letterboxd.
I'm not on Letterboxd.
Yeah, don't follow Bree's
Just
Letterboxd.
Don't do it. Stuff is there, but I don't update it or no.
Thank you for listening. This was Horrorsoup. I'm Caleb.
Yeah, I'm Bree. Goodbye.
And yeah, podcast.
Bye.
New beginnings.
These things. And you splashed the fuck out of me. I am soaked with White Claw. Are you crying?
Show business.
Are you crying? Dude, I am fucking soaked. Good thing this isn't picking up on camera. You should have been recording that.
I still can.
Because you splashed me and I was like...
Oh, it is recording, actually.
Oh, it is?
Yeah, it is. It is. This has actually been recording this whole time. I forgot about it.
I didn't know you were going to do that.
I know you didn't. Should I do it again?
You're going to get fucking drunk, bud.
Yeah, you're ahead of me.
That I am.
Want to shotgun with me?
No, I still have so many left.
On. Yes. High five. I'm happy.
All right. Ah! Ah! Oh, I am soaked. I am literally
like beer
soaked.
Is easier.
I can wring this out and like make a puddle.
There's White Claw everywhere.
There, it's everywhere. Somebody send help. You got on the bed.
It's over here too. I don't know how it got over here.
Dude, look at my dress.
I don't know how it got in front of me.
Oh my god! Make it stop! Caleb!
I did it.
Is this our cue?
I think so.
Oh my god, I'm gonna smell like so much booze. And I have to go to my mother's house
rugged,
right now.
tough like a nugget.
Oh my god. You guys see the things Caleb makes me do? Can we start recording, please? My mom's gonna be so pissed.
What's the issue? Huh?
You look drunk as hell.
You got a problem? 10 times the charm.
Jesus Christ. I'm still wet with White Claw, dude.